Welcome to our first video on how to use Adobe Premiere Pro. Once you've installed and launched Adobe Premiere Pro, you'll be presented with a similar launch screen. Now, your version might be different slightly to mine. I'm using Adobe Premiere Pro 2020, so keep this in mind. So in this version, the way we start a project is we go to New Project. Then we're presented with the first New Project screen. It's really important that you give your project a name because untitled is not going to mean much to you in the future. So I'm going to call mine Minecraft Editing because this is what my first video will be about. And then I want to make sure that I save it to a location that I can retrieve at a later date. Now, several different options that you can have in terms of rendering here. I always use the Mercury Playback Engine software only because I know certain codecs or certain versions of video files are not compatible with the other versions. It's up to you, but this is the one I recommend that you use. The rest that you can leave as default. It's more advanced options, which we may get a chance to look at later. Once you've selected all those options, you press OK. Really, the first thing you need to do is make sure it's really important that you have sufficient hardware to run Adobe Premiere Pro. My advice is to use a machine that has at least 8 gigabytes of RAM. You can use 4 gigabytes, but it may struggle with larger videos. First up, let's go through the interface. We've got several different options here. If you ever get into trouble, I'll show you later how to reset this mode. Now, I must stress again that your version might look slightly different to mine. So first up on the side here, we have what's called the controller mode. So we can, depending on what file was selected, we can control the different options in there. And we'll be looking at that in this video and other videos. You can also preview the different film that you're actually editing up here. And then down here, you've got the actual items that you'll be importing. So the videos, images, sounds, anything that you want to put in your video. And then finally, we have the timeline. So first things first, what I want you to do, or what I'm going to do, is we're going to import the videos that we're going to actually edit. The way you do this is there's several different options. The easiest way is to go File, Import, then make sure you select the location of where the videos have been stored. So I have 4 videos that I want to import. So I'm just going to select all 4 of those. Now, the amount of time it takes to import the videos or the files will depend on how good the hardware is on your computer. As you can see, I now have my videos imported into Adobe Premiere Pro. So the first thing we want to do is we want to create a title, which we're going to put on the screen here. Now, several different ways you can do this. Personally, I like using Photoshop and then bringing a Photoshop image in. But if you don't know Photoshop, the easiest way is to use something called a legacy title. The way you do this is you go to File, New, and then look for legacy title. Then make sure you give it a name. So in this case here, I'm going to give it a name of title, or Minecraft title probably better. Leave all the options as default. Press OK. And then you'll launch into like a mini Photoshop sort of editor. Now, as I said before, I prefer Photoshop, but if you don't know how to use Photoshop, you can make a really quick title here. So all you need to do is, I'm just going to resize the browser so I can see everything, is you just put the text cursor where you want to write it. So I'm going to say Minecraft video. Okay, you can change the color and the font type all up the top here. So let's see if we can change that to impact. And I'll probably leave it at that. Now, what you can do then is you just close this window. And then you can see that inside our library, we now have our 4 videos and our new legacy title. First thing I want to do is actually drag the Minecraft title, the legacy title, onto the timeline. And then what you'll see is we now have on the right-hand side a preview of our video, and you can see on our timeline. The best way to actually test things out is you can actually press play here. And you can see at the moment, we have 5 seconds of nothing. You can also rewind and fast forward here too. So first up, we're going to then drag some of our videos on. So the first one we're going to drag on is our first Minecraft video. So we will go up to, let's get this one here. And then all you do is you drag and drop it. And we'll grab our other videos, drag and drop. You can also change the actual zoom of the timeline by adjusting this little menu option down the bottom here. And this will help you out if you've got a very large project. And then we will drag our last project on. Now, a handy little thing is you can actually skim along the timeline by sort of dragging this little cursor along the timeline tool here. Really great when you're working with videos and you want to edit them. So you can also do it at the top here, change it around. So if I press play now, you can see that I have 5-second legacy title, then I jump into my video. All right, so next thing is we're going to show you how to use something called the razor tool. The razor tool is located here. It's also C on your keyboard. What it lets you do is cut up videos. So let's just say as I'm skipping from a video, I want to, to stop it here. So what we can do is we can grab our razor tool, and then all we do is we then, over the timeline, select what we want to cut. Then we select our selection tool here. And then what we do is we click on the bit of video we don't want anymore, and then we press delete. Then what we can do is we can either drag this manually, or we can use something called ripple delete, which is we right click on it, ripple delete. And now we have trimmed our video down roughly in half. So you can see now my video in the top right hand corner here now only includes a lot less of the code that I had before. I have my little agent just walking, stopping. We can repeat this with all our other videos. So we'll do this one more time. So let's just go through this video here. You can see I have a few dead moments before the actual agent teleports in. You see I'm working through the video there. So if we just scrub along to where I want to, go here. Now, if you're not quite sure how to get it exactly, you can use the arrow keys on your keyboard to actually skip left, right by frame. So you can see here, I'm trying to work out where my agent teleports in. So it's there. So then what we do is we grab our razor tool over here. We cut exactly where we want to go. Make sure we get our selection tool again, and then delete the bit of video we no longer want. And then we can also do the ripple delete again. So you can see here now, I have a video which goes for, as you see on the timeline here, 0 seconds all the way through to roughly 2 minutes. Now, if I was just to leave the video like this, I think it's pretty basic. We've got our introduction video, legacy title. We've got our first video in there. One thing we can do before we finish off this tutorial is I could show you how to put a label over the top of your video. It's exactly the same thing using a legacy title. My advice is you scrub along, or you move this cursor along to where you want the legacy title to appear, like so. And then what we do is we go to File, New, Legacy Title, give it a name. So I'm going to call this Video 1 Intro. It's okay. And you can see it's a transparent image. So what you can do, if I drag this image aside here, is I can see exactly where I want to put my text, because the background on all your legacy titles defaults to transparent. So if I want to introduce this as Minecraft Video 1, all I do is I put the cursor in here and I write in Minecraft Video 1, then close it, then the way we work inside Premiere Pro is work in different layers. So you can see video 1, 2, and 3, audio 1, 2, and 3. We want to put the layer of the legacy title above the V1 layer. So then what we do is we grab our legacy title from the bottom left-hand corner. We just drag it on top. Okay, so you can see, press play. You can see a video there. Now, you can drag and drop and actually extend the length of a sequence anyway. You can either drag it across like I'm doing here by grabbing the side of the object and moving it, or I can right-click and I can change the speed duration. At the moment, everything defaults to 5 seconds. So in summary, what we've looked at in this video is we've looked at the interface, we've looked at how to import the different items. So in this case here, we have 4 videos, and we've created 2 legacy titles. Then what we did was we imported those videos onto the timeline. I then showed you how to use the razor tool. And then finally, I showed you how you can also put a legacy title as an overlay over the top of a video. If you'd like more information on how to do more advanced editing, please look up at my other YouTube videos. Thank you for watching this video.